Welcome back to another episode of Trump Tuesday, episode 13. Let's get right into the news. We all know that Trump is obsessed with Twitter, but one thing we all don't know is that he pays attention to every tweet he gets.
An engineer in California who tweeted the president was paid $69 million for ventilators that never came. On March 27th, President Trump posted on Twitter to urge Ford and General Motors to start making ventilators now. A man named Yaron Oren Pines tweeted back, "We can supply ICU ventilators. Have someone call me urgent." And that's all it took. The guy had just 75 followers on Twitter and no apparent experience in manufacturing. But 3 days later, New York State entered into a $69 million contract with the man. A New York State official said that they entered the contract at the direct recommendation of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Now New York has terminated the deal and is trying to get its money back.
Okay, 1. Why the heck did this even happen? And 2. How the heck did this happen? Seriously? Some random guy at Twitter says he can make ventilators with no followers and experience, and you give him a $69 million contract? And also, how does the government have this much money to spend on some random guy and not have enough to pay their essential workers? So many questions. Moving on. Since this pandemic started, we started to realize how much we really take for granted, and have started to learn to appreciate all of those essential workers and doctors putting their lives on the line to save others. As many businesses start to shut down and unemployment rates skyrocket, one of the most important industries that we need to survive is the food industry. But it turns out the coronavirus is coming for that too.
The food supply chain is breaking. That's the warning in a full-page ad from Tyson Foods, released in the New York Times. It comes after one of the country's largest meat processors closed a massive pork processing plant in Iowa.
This morning, with beef increasingly scarce, President Trump promising to take action, signing an executive order under the Defense Production Act to ensure processing plants stay open and run at the maximum extent possible.
Okay, I'll say it right here. Trump definitely knows what his priorities are in life, because he had months of warnings about a possible pandemic coming to America, and he did practically nothing. But you tell that man once there's going to be a beef shortage, he's spitting right into action. And that's a big deal. Yeah, Trump probably never heard of the word action in his life, so that's first. Okay, so enough making fun of Trump for now, and let's focus on the people that really matter. The same people Trump indirectly told, nope, you're gonna go right back to work.
Processing plants can be a breeding ground for the virus because many workers spend their days side by side.
You're not talking about 200 people, you're talking about several thousand people.
We are very close. We can't use a social distance at that place.
Okay, seriously? You know it's really sad that these workers are being forced to keep the food chain going, but nobody's being forced to protect them while they do it. Trump suggested last week that injecting disinfectants may cure the virus, and when asked about this in a press briefing, this is how he responded.
Governor Larry Hogan specifically said they've seen a spike in people using disinfectant after your comments last week. I know you said they were sarcastic.
I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why. Yeah.
Take any responsibility?
No, I don't. No, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, I can't imagine why somebody would follow your advice. Then Trump shifted blame to his longtime nemesis, fill in the blank.
It could have been stopped, and it could have been stopped short, but somebody a long time ago, it seems, decided not to do it that way, and the whole world is suffering because of it.
Yes, someone should have tried to stop it a long time ago. I wonder who that could be. Anyways, on Saturday, Mike Pence visited the Mayo Clinic, where he was the only one not wearing a required mask. When asked about this, here's his response.
You just walk us through why you made the decision not to wear the mask, even though the clinic said that they tweeted that they had asked you to do so.
When the CDC issued guidelines about wearing a mask, it was their recognition that people that may have the coronavirus could prevent the possibility of conveying the virus to someone else by wearing a mask. And since I don't have the coronavirus, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to be here, to be able to speak to these researchers, these incredible healthcare personnel, and look them in the eye and say thank you.
Of course Pence thought he was immune to COVID-19. The coronavirus only infects warm-blooded mammals, not albino reptiles. Also, you can look at people through a mask. A mask is supposed to cover your mouth and nose, not your eyes. Alright, let's end this video off with some good news. A study at Oxford University may have a solution for the coronavirus vaccine.
The faster timetable, they say, is because their vaccine has been in development for decades in an effort to stop other coronaviruses. Now it has been adjusted for immunity against COVID-19 and tested on 6 monkeys at the Rocky Mountain Laboratories in Montana. After exposure to the virus, they report the monkeys did not get sick.
Yes, 6 monkeys have been tested on this with the vaccine, and then exposed to the virus, and none of them got sick. And this is all good and all, but maybe, just maybe, should they try to test like UV rays into the body or maybe disinfectant injection? I don't know. It could work. We can get some doctors to test that. I've said this last episode and the episode before, but I'll say it again. Trump ignored several months of warnings from his personal advisors, but when he heard the news about meat plants shutting down, Trump goes right into action to stop that, while putting thousands of workers at risk, promoting disinfectant injections and anti-lockdown protesters. Sometimes I wonder how Trump even got elected as the most powerful man in the world. I'll just say to myself,
I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why, yeah.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week on Trump Tuesday.